Good morning, dear students. I am Shikra Banerjee, Assistant Professor of Brainware University. We will be discussing the topic on acid and bases. This is coming under Pharmaceutical Inorganic Chemistry, Chapter 1, Unit 2. So, you know what is the definition of acid and bases. So, first of all, I am going to the general old concept, that is acid and bases are defined as acid is a substance whose aqueous solution possesses the following characteristic properties. So from the beginning we know that acid can conduct electricity, reacts with active metals like zinc, magnesium, etc. to give hydrogen. Next turns blue litmus red and has a sour taste and whose acidic properties disappear on reaction with base. So some of these properties, if some liquid having this type of property, then this is known as the acids. Okay. Now coming to the base. So base is a substance whose aqueous solution possesses the following characteristics. It also conducts electricity, turns red litmus blue, has a bitter taste, has a soapy taste, it is a slippery in nature, and whose basic properties are destroyed on reaction with acid. So these are the properties of bases. Now, there are some concepts of acid and bases. Some scientists has derived some concept like Arrhenius. Arrhenius, one of the important scientists in 1884, put forwards a theory that is known as the Arrhenius theory of ionization. The main idea contained in this theory was that when the electrolyte is dissolved in water, it dissociates into positively and negatively charged ions. That means the substance which will be acting as an acid, they will be having some positive containing charges. So, based on this theory, Arrhenius gave the definition of acid and bases as follows, like an acid is defined as a substance which contains hydrogen and which, when dissolved into water, give hydrogen ions. That means the substance which will be containing hydrogen and which will be dissolving in water and giving hydrogen ions are known as the acid. That means the substance which will be positively giving hydrogen ions like HCl, HNO3, H2SO4, they are containing hydrogen and they are when dissolving into water they are dissociated into HCl like H plus Cl minus, HNO3 minus H plus NO3 minus, and these strong acids are called as the strong acid because H plus ion is the strong acid. Now, substances like acetic acid, carbonic acid, phosphoric acid, etc., when dissolved in water, dissociate into ions to small extent, and hence equilibrium is set up between the ions and undissociated molecules, like acetic acid, CH3COOH. This is dissociated into smaller part. That's why double arrow is given. CH3COO minus and H plus ion. That means total acetic acid is not dissociated into total acetic acid molecule and H plus ion, and the phosphoric acid, that is also dissociated into H plus and phosphate minus ion, but they are also not dissociated into completely. That's why they are known as the weak acid. Now these are the concept of strong acid and strong base. Now coming as a base is defined as a substance which contains hydroxyl group and which when dissolved in water gives hydroxide ion, that is OH minus ion. That is according to your in the 7, 8, 9, 10 you have studied about this. Whenever any substance dissociates the hydroxide ion, it is known as a base. So substance like NaOH, KOH containing the OH minus group when dissolved into water dissociate completely to give OH minus ion. Like NaOH will be giving Na plus OH minus. See, there is just one arrow, that is the forwarded arrow, and that means all the NaOH molecule will be dissociated. KOH, that is K plus OH minus. They are called the strong bases. Next, coming to the substance like ammonium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, aluminum hydroxide, they are dissociated into small extent. That's why they are known as the weak bases. Like ammonium hydroxide, NH plus 4 and OH minus ion. Okay. So, according to this concept, Arrhenius has also given the concept of neutralization. According to this theory, neutralization may be defined as the process in which hydrogen ions given by an acid and hydroxide ion given by the base combine to form unionized molecules of water. That means neutralization कब होंगे जब एक हाइड्रोजन आयन जो कि ना एसिड से दिया गया है और एक हाइड्रोक्साइड आयन जो कि बेसिस से दिया गया है, they will be giving a unionized molecule of water, that is H2O. You know, whenever acid and bases are reacting, they are forming a salt and water molecule. Okay, so this is the concept of Arrhenius theory. Okay, now neutralization. So it is also defined as a chemical reaction between an acid and base in a solution that produces salt and acid. Like HCl will be producing NaOH, that is H2O and NaCl. So phenomena like salt hydrolysis and strength of acid and bases are also explained by the Arrhenius concept of acid and bases. Okay. Now, coming to some limitation of Arrhenius theory. That means Arrhenius, though said that HCl and H2SO giving plus ion, so the acid, but there are some limitations. Like the acidic and basic properties of various substances were explained by only in aqueous solution, that is dry HCl shall act as an acid. That means Arrhenius said that whenever they will be dissociating into water, they will be acting as an acid. So that means dry HCl will not be an acid, right? But HCl is regarded as acid when it is dissolved in water and also in as a dry form. Okay. So the concept does not explain the acidic and basic characteristics of substance in non-aqueous solvents. Okay. Now, the nucleation process is also limited to those reactions that can occur in aqueous solution only. That means RNA is saying that the nucleation process is just only occurring in the aqueous solution, but we know some of the nucleation process or the salt formation reaction can be occurred in the absence of salts. That means that is also a limitation. That means some of the substance can be reacting in without the solvents, and that is also forming some nucleation. So that is one of the limitation. And some of the substance which is containing some molecules and not rather than H plus or H minus, so we cannot call them acid and bases. But some substances like aluminum chloride, they also possesses some acidic characteristics, and they are dissociating whenever in the water, they produces the H plus acid. So that's why they will be also acting as an acid, but the RNS concept does not describe this. So these are the some limitations. So for overcoming these limitations, we are describing the Bronsted-Lowry concept of acid and bases. So that concept will be discussed later. Now up to this, I'm finishing here. Okay, thank you all. Have a nice day.